Hello and welcome to another Zach Carnage video, and today we're going to be talking about a deck which I am so glad has finally been given a reasonable amount of support so that it can actually be played as a meta deck, and may even be the best deck of the format. This is Blue Eyes White Dragon. So for the main deck, some of the key monsters that you'll be noticing popping up if you play against this deck or play this deck itself. Obviously you've got the Blue Eyes White Dragon. It's a classic staple in this deck. You need to play 3, particularly because you want to be able to summon the next card, which is Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. So this monster treats itself as Blue Eyes White Dragon while it's on the field or in the grave. You summon it inherently by revealing a Blue Eyes White Dragon in your hand. It will be able to destroy any monster that your opponent controls by targeting it. However, you will sacrifice your attack for this. After this particular copy that you've already summoned out has been destroyed, you will be able to summon it again. The Blue Eyes White Dragon deck focuses a lot on revival of monsters that have already been killed, and you do this with Return of the Dragon Lords, a card which just came out in the latest Dragon structure deck. And this will not only bring back any of your level 7 or level 8 Dragon-type monsters, but it will also protect any number of them from destruction. By banishing itself, you instantly protect yourself from a destruction effect. So if your opponent tries to Raigeki or Dark Hole, you're safe. The deck also features the White Spirit Dragon. This is a card which treats itself as a Blue Eyes card constantly, even in the deck, which means that you can summon it with White Stone of the Ancients, as we'll discuss a little bit later. By tributing it while your opponent controls a monster, they have to control at least one, you'll be able to summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your hand. So this, again, does actually have to be a Blue Eyes White Dragon, but then that's not really a problem. It's a nice little bit of disruption going up from a 2500 attack monster to a 3k beta pretty much instantly, and it can also help you to establish OTKs a little bit faster if you attack into a weaker monster and then summon the Blue Eyes to attack over a stronger monster. When White Spirit Dragon is summoned, it will actually banish one of your opponent's spells or traps. This can be very useful against decks which are pendulum focused, because they won't be able to recur their pendulum scales, and they won't be going into the extra deck to be used for extra pendulum summons. The deck also features a series of small tuners to accompany the level 8 big monsters. So these include White Stone of Legend, which we saw a long time ago. Basically, any time this card goes to the grave, you have to search one of your Blue Eyes White Dragons from your deck to your hand. That's not so much of a problem. It's normally quite useful for giving you a +1 essentially, and helping you put out your Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon just a little bit faster and more consistently onto the field. We also have White Stone of the Ancients. So this card, if it was sent to the graveyard during this turn, then during the end phase you get special summon a Blue Eyes monster from your deck. That can even be the White Spirit Dragon, because it's treated as a Blue Eyes monster, or it can be your Blue Eyes White Dragon itself. It won't be able to be the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon, however, because that card specifically says it has to first be special summoned by its own effect. The second time that you summon it, so if it's already gone to the grave, then sure, that's fine. The other minor effect of White Stone of the Ancients is that you can banish it from the grave to add a Blue Eyes card from your graveyard to your hand. This can help you to extend some of your combos, adding back a Blue Eyes White Dragon to your hand so that you can then summon an alternative dragon, and just make some of your plays a little more consistent as well. Another key tuner for the deck is Sage with Eyes of Blue. So basically this guy will search any of your level 1 light tuner monsters from your deck to your hand when it's normal summoned, but only normal summoned, so 1-for-1 won't help you here. But you'll be able to add Effect Veiler or any of the stones, or if you play it you can add Maiden, which is pretty versatile. In addition to this, you can discard it, targeting one of your effect monsters, send that to the grave, and then summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon from your deck. Or a Blue Eyes monster, so you can summon a White Spirit Dragon with this, which is pretty useful. So in some cases you'll find that you won't be able to put a level 8 onto the field so easily, but having a Sage in hand means that you can do that a lot more rapidly. Plus, if you get rid of your White Stone of the Ancients or your White Stone of Legend, then you essentially go plus with this, because you're establishing higher level monsters during the end phase, or you get the Blue Eyes to your hand. So the extra deck for this deck is focused on rank 8 Xyz monsters and level 9 Synchro monsters. So we've got the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, which is your level 9 Synchro, which has to be summoned with Blue Eyes monster and a tuner. This is very easy to bring out with a Sage and any of your Blue Eyes White Dragon, your White Spirit Dragon, or your Alternative Dragon, or you can do it with any of your stones instead. Your stones will then get their effects according to being in the grave, whereas Sage will just be there and will have added something already. With White Spirit Dragon on the field, neither player can special summon 2 or more monsters at once. That means that no massive pendulum summons are going to be headed against you, which is very nice. Also, you'll be able to negate any effect that happens in the grave, at least once per turn anyway, and by tributing the White Spirit Dragon, you'll be able to bring out any of your light dragon-type synchro monsters from your extra deck. So this includes things like Michael, the Arch Lightsworn, your Moonlight Rose Dragon, a Stardust Spark Dragon, and this will allow you to make Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon a little bit easier because you can make the Michael and then any of your level 1 tuners will make a Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. The only drawback for this effect of tributing and then summoning one of these dragons is that it will be destroyed during the end phase. However, Stardust Spark Dragon can avoid this very easily. Also, you'll be able to bring out Azurai Silver Dragon. Azurai Silver Dragon actually protects itself and all Dragon-type monsters you currently control until the end of the next turn. So that's very useful because that means that if you summon it off a Spirit Dragon, it will be absolutely fine. And during the next standby phase of your turn, you'll be able to special summon any of your normal monsters from your grave, your normal dragons. So that can be a Blue Eyes White Dragon, it can even be a White Spirit Dragon which is treated as a normal monster in the grave, or it could be a small tuner if you play something like Flamvel Guard. So for the rank 8s, it's fairly simple. Basically you go for the best ones in the toolbox. Currently some of my favourites in the rank 8 toolbox are Hope Harbinger, that's number 38. Basically you negate any spell for free and you can redirect some attacks. You've also got Divine Dragon Knight Felgrand, so of course Felgrand being an awesome dragon has an awesome Dragon Knight, and this card is absolutely fantastic. It's been seeing play basically since Dragon Ruler days, and it's been revered since then. You also have access to Dark Matter Dragon. It's a little bit more complicated to get into this. Basically you have to go into one of your rank 8 galaxies, rank up into full armor, and then go into Dark Matter. But this allows you to send 3 of your Dragon-type monsters from the deck to the grave. Those can be stones, which will then trigger, or it can be any of the other supports which has come out, like the Archbrave or the Felgrand Dragons, which are pretty interesting and have some cool interactions with the deck. Your opponent will then have to banish 3 monsters from their deck. By detaching material, Dark Matter Dragon gets an additional attack on a monster, which is pretty impressive seeing as it already has 4,000 attack points, which is huge. This easily beats over Blue Eyes or any of the Spirit Dragons that your opponent might have in defense position. Some of the other engines that you might see get put into this deck are things like the Chaos Max engine. This basically relies on a couple of copies of Manju, which can search ritual spells or ritual monsters. You have a couple of copies of Chaos Max Dragon. It's a 4,000 attack monster, which can't be targeted or destroyed by your opponent, which is pretty impressive. Plus it does double piercing damage, so, you know, it's fair, right? And this can easily be summoned by using either Chaos Form, which is the new ritual spell for the deck, which can even banish Blue Eyes White Dragons from your graveyard, or instead you can use something like Advanced Ritual Art to send out 1 Blue Eyes monster from your deck to the grave, and then, hey, you've got a free Chaos Max. There are other variants of the deck which rely on some of the fusion elements. So there's a brand new monster which is Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This guy can basically attack 3 times. He's a 4,500 attack monster, and it's pretty whopping to be able to do that much damage in a single go. There's not much that can stand up to this apart from maybe 5-headed dragon. Also, by banishing one of these from the grave, you can prevent a targeting effect on one of your Dragon-type monsters and destroy the card that did it. If you're going down the fusion route, you also have access to Blue Eyes Twin Burst Dragon, which essentially gets double attacks but only on monsters and can banish stuff if it doesn't kill it during the battle phase. You'll also have access to First of the Dragons. This card is absolutely amazing. It requires 2 normal monsters to summon, but once it does, it's unaffected by other monster effects that aren't normal.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?
And it can't be destroyed by battle with a monster that isn't a normal monster, which is pretty crazy. In order to summon these fusion dragons, you have obviously polymerization and the various versions of polymerization out there. But one of the most important cards for the dragon deck is of course Dragon's Mirror, which allows you to banish monsters from your graveyard or your field, and then summon from the extra deck. So essentially you have a 1-card ultimate dragon, which is absolutely crazy. And obviously you can only get this off in the late game, but it's ridiculous that this is possible. So for siding against this deck, you really want to play cards which can banish stuff from the graveyard. Ally of Justice, Cycle Reader, and DD Crow are excellent because the deck uses a lot of focus on bringing back cards from the grave. If they want to set up their best board, they basically need to soul charge. Otherwise they need to be using Return of the Dragon Lords quite a bit. So just banishing their targets from the grave is easily a way to out this deck. You can also play things like Light Imprisoning Mirror, which will stop any light effects on the field or in the grave. Loads of their extra deck is light, as is a lot of the main deck, so having a Light Imprisoning Mirror in there will easily save you from a lot of that. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any comments or suggestions that you would like to make, don't forget you can leave those in the comment section down below. We're going to be continuing this Meta Talk series by talking about DDD and ABC in the near future. Oh, I almost forgot, I've actually built my own version of the Blue Eyes deck, so if you'd like to see a deck profile, then leave a comment down below telling me about that. And I'm also willing to show off some of the cool combos that the deck can do. There's a very, very easy 3-card OTK with my build of it, which you can very consistently establish, actually. I've just been drawing a load of test hands, and it crops up a lot, so yeah, feel free to comment, and I'll show you guys how to do that. So thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.